Welcome to Autism Academy, a fully accredited school whose foundation is built on 4 fundamental building blocks. In this 4-part series, we will be taking a look at what each building block means to AAED and how they impact every decision we make and shape the Autism Academy you see today.
What is so great about our school is the small class sizes. I feel like in public schools you have such large classes, especially in the high schools and middle schools, that sometimes students and their needs can be overlooked, or sometimes bullying can not be noticed. Here, because we're such a close-knit group and a close-knit family, our students don't get overlooked.
Every time we get a new student, all of the other kiddos are always willing to welcome them in, show them all the fun stuff we do, invite them to play with them on the playgrounds.
Like Chase and me.
Yes. Yeah, you made instant friends.
Yeah.
I just feel like Autism Academy all around is like a sense of belonging for the children. Public schools, most of the time I've noticed that it's kind of cliquey. Here at Autism Academy, the students are more involved with each other as like a bigger group rather than a bunch of different small groups.
I think it's a great environment for kids to make friends because we are very diverse. Like, we have different ethnicities, we have different type of children. Here, they don't have cliques. They try to intermingle with everybody, even with the teachers, so it's a very fun environment for everyone.
This place is so kid first in everything that we do. This is a school where I really feel like it's a family mentality, where it's like once a new kid is here, we welcome them with open arms. Because other schools, you know, once you're a new kid, you go to year 1 class and that's it, you make friends at your own pace. But here it's kind of like we make it a priority for you to get to know your classmates so you can feel welcome. That's just how I feel, because even as staff, when I first started, everybody was so welcoming. You know, hey, I'm so-and-so, I'm this and this, you know, hi, what's your name, where you from? They just wanted to get to know me. And I feel the students and staff are the same way with the new kids. We're gonna get to know them, their interests, what they like, just to make them feel welcome, make them feel a part of the family.
We have new students join us pretty often here, and they come into the classroom. You know, some of them have pretty awful experiences that they've come from, of being bullied at other schools. And our students just take them under their wings, right? They got to find a common interest. Hey, you like Pokemon? Hey, me too.
They're walking around to their classes and they don't know where to go. A lot of our kids will say, hey, walk with me, I'll show you where do we go for Mr. Bird's class or wherever, and take you and we'll sit with you during lunch.
They really take good care of each other here, the students do.
Well, I mean, first, honestly, I think of being a mom, what the parents go through, because their parents want so much for their child to fit in. But I think one of the blessings of our school is just the graciousness that our kids show to each other. The kids are very understanding, very, very gracious, and they don't make fun of each other. I think that's the biggest thing, is kids will say here, nobody's making fun of me. If I raise my hand and ask a question in math, or if I say a wrong answer, nobody's laughing at me, nobody's calling me names or anything like that.
I think they have a good understanding of what it feels like to be the kid that's different, and knowing that all of them are together, they don't feel so different anymore.
In the first year that I went to this school, I was expecting to just hide in the back of the classroom, and the door opens, and the only thing that I can hear in that split second, other than the door creaking very loudly, is everyone shouting my name at once. So there goes that plan right out the window, right away. Initially, yeah, it was a little bit overwhelming. It's always going to be. It's a new school and suddenly everyone knows your name and everyone's being very loud. But it didn't feel unfriendly. It wasn't like anywhere else where it's just like, oh, hey, Hayden. This was like, everyone was excited. People were jumping out of their chairs to run over and be like, hey, you know, what's your favorite color? You know, what do you do in your spare time? Do you like Minecraft?
Having friends is a good way of kind of having a good connection and feeling like you're a part of a larger thing. And from one of my own stories, in public school, I never really had the opportunity to make as many friends as I wanted to. And that's mainly just because I had autism. People saw that as like, oh, he's different. So they'd never really give you the chance to like show that you are a good friend and that you can be a friend. I felt like I didn't really have much of a fulfilling friendship life ahead of me until I came here. When I came here in middle school, right off the bat, I had 4, maybe 5 people who, when I was sitting with them, immediately wanted to know things I liked. And because of that, I felt comfortable being able to talk about stuff, whether it was jokes or even talk about if I'm feeling stressed and what they have for advice.
When we were enrolling kids in our program from the very beginning, the number one thing we heard parents coming in, especially at our junior high age, was their kids have not had friends. They've been in schools where they may be included, but they didn't have friends. They were never invited to birthday parties. Some of our kids that are in 7th grade are getting invited to birthday parties for the very first time in their whole life, not because they had to be included with the whole class, but because they genuinely wanted them at the birthday parties.
We had this one student who was brand new to this school, and we wanted to make sure that he felt welcome because he had some prior experiences at a different school. It just happened very naturally. He just started fitting in really quickly. People were, talking to him, welcoming him, and he, within a week he had a slight schedule change. And it was only a week of school, and his second period class was where I usually had him. Everybody was like, where did our friend go? And I'm like, oh, well, he had to move classes. He's still here. He's just in a different class. And he was very missed, even only being there for 1 week. It really warmed my heart.
I'm sure anybody who comes here doesn't leave with a frown on their face. So it's a good feeling.
People always want to know who you are here. They don't care, how different you are. Unless it's involving setting things up so you can get things done right. It is a warm feeling, it's a friendly feeling, it's a welcoming feeling. It is one that I immediately grew attached to, and I knew in that instant that this is something that I want to be a part of. If it's going to make that much of a difference where my shy self is going to get up and talk to people who I've never met, who seem to know a lot about me, which usually really sets me on edge. But it was so comforting that in that moment it just didn't click this is something to be worried about. It was something that was good. So for 3 years I worked. I got an internship, and over the summer, despite a bunch of difficulties, I got the job. I went into training. I saw all the old faces, and it was one of the most satisfying feelings in the world to have my old teacher from last year look at me from across the parking lot and just see her face light up like a lighthouse. That was when it really clicked, this is real. And that was when I finally let myself be proud of where I have come to. And I have never in my life been happier than I am right now.
The Autism Academy is definitely on board with the idea that even if you do have autism, you can still be part of a greater whole and be seen as one of many. You'll never know what someone's going through or how someone feels if you have no one to talk to about it.
It's not just on its own level. It is the benchmark. It's so far ahead of anything I've experienced. It's golden.